In 2004, I was released from prison, and then I figured that what I was going to do when I got back to the streets, that I would begin to work with young people, that I would inspire young people. And at the moment, I only had my story, but of course, I did the necessary work while I was out in the street to, do programming, understand facilitation and things of that nature to work with young people. I landed in a nonprofit organization doing the same thing. And I worked with them for about 4.5 years, where I worked in a high school. I was subsequently fingerprinted by the organization, which was, normal because they needed to just be in compliance contractually and things of that nature. And so I willingly, hey, no big deal. I don't have anything to hide. I know that I have a 15-year track record of what I've been doing, and the organization has already hired me, right? And I've been here for 4.5 years. And a letter came back from the Board of Education that said that I could no longer work in the school because of my criminal record. So I said, okay, I looked at the letter. I was shocked initially, and I was like, well, wait a minute, hold on. I have receipts, Somehow, something is going to say, who have you been outside of what this paper we showing you here? And there was nothing. They said the only way that I can appeal the situation is to let them know if any of the information is incorrect about my criminal record. There was that was my only appeal option. And I said, you have to be kidding me. And for the first time, I questioned it and said, wait a minute. Why am I being perpetually punished here? There's this perpetual punishment. I have served my time. I did what you have expected me to do as a returning citizen or returning person coming from prison, and more, right? So why am I still being punished for something that I have served my time for already? And so the first time I decided to just even look at policy and to understand what is there terminology for this? Why did my lawyer say, I started asking all of those questions. And so I came across this terminology, collateral consequences. I had never heard this word before, this phrase. I never heard it before. And I was like, why my attorney didn't say any of this? Why the district attorney, I didn't hear it in my sentence, nothing. And so essentially, collateral consequences is these 44,000 plus laws and barriers that exist that says if you are convicted of a crime, by law, we are allowed to strip you of these rights, of these things. You can be denied access. The system is not designed for rehabilitation. And so that is my hopes, that there will be an opportunity to create rehabilitation in these spaces. So example, a person goes to prison with a 10-year sentence. And in many prison institutions, a person does not talk about reentry into a year or 6 months before they're released. How is that possible? This person has been in prison for 10 years. You telling me you don't talk about reentry or put that person in any type of reentry program until 6 months before release? Reentry should start once the person enters the prison, because this person has a release date. And that is not the case. Many men and women come out of prison with a net bag, right? Their trusty net bag, right? With ideas and plans and everything. And sometimes a lot of it falls by the wayside because there's just certain things in preparation in the world that they didn't prepare themselves for. Right? Because they release you from prison and say, okay, cool, here's your chance to do the right thing now. But it isn't fair. A chance isn't a chance if it isn't fair.